Hi, I'm Lee from Sheep on Drugs. You know, Sheep on Drugs. And you're listening to Roosta. Rooster. So this is a Rooster Booster.
The man is the servant of always much the same wherever one goes.
Oh, baby, baby, baby. Hello and welcome to the world famous Rooster Show. This is Rooster Jones, your damn host. Today we have Warm Gadget, and they're from Bend, Oregon, and they're an industrial project, type of industrial rock project, which is very cool. You get to have them. I love industrial, and I love rock. So let's hear what the heck they have to say. They have one main album out called Sorrows. It came out in 2024. Debunked, I think that's the name of the song. They put out a EP single of it in 2025 and had several other singles before that in 24. So, and here we go. And here we go. We got magic. Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, I can hear you. Good. Yeah. That was the other question. Can I hear you? As the last band, I couldn't hear him at first. So we have Colten and Tim.
Colten Tim.
And there.
Pleasure to meet you both. Thank you for being here. Taking the time out to be on my little wing dang of a show. But
Yeah, well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks
I
for
try,
having me.
man. I try. It's really cool. I love industrial rock, so it's nice having a band like you here. I usually do punk and all that good stuff, but I mean, industrial is I think, a branch off of punk rock. So is the way I look at it. Oh, a lot of underground music is, So whether it be alternative rock or this and that, I think they all branched off of the early punkers, man, from back in the late 70s and all that good stuff. So much respect to you for doing industrial music. I love it. Ministry is still one of my favorites. Frontline Assembly is my other. So tell me about your band and how it got started and all that good stuff. I know you started around 2024. I know that your first album, Sorrows came out in 2024, which is a great album. Good job. Like Bats is a good song. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a great song to get out there a little more. It's one of the more varied tracks on the album for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I like it. It was catchy. So tell me, how you guys? How did you start? Has it always been you guys? Has there been other members?
Yeah, well, Tim and I just knew each other for years and years, and we were in different bands, and we just played a lot of shows together in our bands at the time. And I think when those bands were kind of like fizzling out, we were still we'd always wanted to work together, and I just started kind of demoing out tracks in the home studio, and they were just kind of going in that direction. Like I had always wanted to experiment more with drum machines and like more kind of
Yeah.
machine like stuff and noisier stuff. And yeah, it just led to me demoing out some stuff, showing it to Tim. Tim wrote to it right away. You know, I don't know. I think we demoed out like 4 or 5 songs, and this would have been like right around kind of the end of the MySpace days, like the end
Man.
of the. So I remember we had put like our stuff up on MySpace when it was kind of already dying, but that had kind of got the attention of a label at the time called Decisive Sound.
Okay.
Yeah, that I had actually put out some music with them on just like a electronic noisy thing, and he liked it. And even though that never ended up happening, we just kind of were having fun with what we were doing, and
Yeah, of course.
we put together a band eventually, and then we played like that with we've had various other members throughout the years, but we're
Yeah.
always the one who writes everything.
What kind of stuff did you do before this band?
Before this band, my band was a band called Vahara, and it was more kind of like I don't know, I want to say like had a lot of like Faith No More,
Ah,
like Helmet.
I love Helmet.
It was kind of like, that's the best way I could put it. It was like almost like Faith No More meets Helmet, maybe. I don't know.
I think that's a pretty good summation of it. But you can also see all of that, all of our influences in our past bands rolled into Warm Gadget as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Colton has been more kind of mainline rock and roll and the electronic aspect. And for me, it was rock and roll and punk rock stuff.
Okay. I like the collaboration then. I do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
The time was more on the punk side for sure.
yeah.
But we
Yeah,
always kind of worked as the two bands playing together, playing shows. Like we kind of fit, and he was bringing more of that punk quality, and then
Yeah.
I was trying to bring in the more industrial thing. So we were kind of slamming industrial rock with like punk and noise rock.
That's good stuff, man. That's what a lot of the early stuff was all about, anyways, man. All that early ministry and all that good stuff. Especially in case you decide not to show up. Boy, if you couldn't get no punk energy out of that album. Oh boy, that live set, I mean, come on. I mean, it was good, perfect taste of everything. And then you have Jello at the end with his American flag, thing, being all patriotic or unpatriotic, I should say. I mean, it was just the perfect balance of industrial and noise and the danceability still, and all that energy and then Martin Atkins on drums back there, kicking ass with, giving that almost alternative and funky drive to it. It was perfect. It's still one of my favorite. I just listened to it the other day. I have to. I love it. I have to. Every month I have to at least listen to it a couple times, or I'm not in my right mind.
Yeah, you got to take your medicine.
Yeah,
I love
sure.
industrial. What thing I like about industrial, honestly, is that's where I fell in love going to all the clubs in LA and all that. And it's just, I love industrial clubs, the Gothic and industrial clubs all together. Just something about it. I just grew a wonderful connection with that scene. And oh boy, and I showed it too. I used to dress like a weirdo and go to some of those clubs. I'm not even gonna say nothing though. You can't force me, because then you guys will be like, "Wow, this is a weirdo, man." I'll be like, "Yeah." That was a
Yeah,
weirdo,
but I
man.
mean, we're into that weirdo stuff too. Like we always, I don't think we sound like Skinny Puppy at all, but we both have just always appreciated them, and that was a really
Yeah.
weird band. Their show, their music, that was, I mean, everything
Talk
about it was
about
weird,
noise. That's noise, man.
really noisy. Yeah, but we always kind of like just
Psychotic
appreciated what they
noise.
were doing. Yeah.
I think
But
in
real quick
here,
though, is they had two drummers when I saw them as well on stage. It was badass. Saw them at Cinematic, and then I saw them also in Vegas. But yeah, it was just they put a lot of emphasis on the drums and all the toms, using the toms and all that stuff. It's really cool, man. How they do that, how they incorporate it. Go ahead, buddy. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Oh no, you're good.
interrupted
percussion
you, but
definitely, especially for a live show, percussion definitely brings that energy. That's you can have your guitars as loud as you want, but once you get the crazy percussion pushing through, that's going to move people. Period. What I
it
was going to say for
does.
that is, I mean, we just look like regular human beings, but in here is where all the darkness and the gothiness and the
Yeah.
noise.
Well,
Exterior, I mean, you wouldn't know that we were potentially dangerous.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. I totally agree. Totally agree with that. I mean, honestly, as a musician, we get a lot of stuff that's really messed up, through life, trapped up in our heads. And we're lucky enough to be able to have an avenue of letting it out. You know what I mean? Playing
Oh,
some instruments to let this tension, and the stress and hurt and confusion, depression.
Therapy.
Boy, the
oh,
list just keeps going.
Yep.
I mean, we can pull some shit out of our ass,
yeah,
that upsets us. But that it's healing. Music is healing, man. And
Yep.
for you and for the other person listening, it's and on the stage when you're up there playing, that's even more healing. I've found out time. I mean, I've had shows where I was on stage wanting to cry because I know what the song's about. I'm pouring my whole heart into it. Like one of the songs about my son being born, first time I saw his eyes, and when he was born, it's called Alive. And this is a damn good song. But I still play that and I get chills, knowing who I'm playing that for. It's just if music's not healing, you're in the wrong business. You need to go back to framing or being a plumber. You know what I mean? Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, it's just music's too important to be messing with people's emotions. Messing with people, I mean, people are really hurt. They really need to hear what you're saying. So as a band, what are you trying to say? What's your point that you're trying to get across?
We don't really have any single message in any way, shape, or form. We don't really push our ideologies onto people.
That's good.
Obviously, we do in our own lives have our own politics and ideologies and everything
Of
else, which
course,
for
that's
the
where it
most part,
should be. Should be
yeah,
there safely, person's
we leave
own,
a
but
lot of it up to
hearts and
interpretation.
minds. True. Yep, I agree with that. Keeping certain things out of the spotlight. I mean, that's where you can get division on one side. Even if
oh
you go
yeah,
one way, you're gonna have the other person. There's three sides when it comes to politics: the left, the right, and the people in the middle that don't give a shit.
Yeah,
And just trying to do music. And so I mean, you have to battle all three categories, and this category goes with every category. Like I deal with skinheads. I just had a skinhead band right before you guys. And I mean, look, I'm dressed like a skinhead right now.
yeah.
But
Sharps,
it's just,
sharp,
but there's
sharp,
no. What was that?
sharps.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, there ain't no racism in my body, dude. I love my God with all my heart, and I love my people from all my scenes because each one of them has been a part of my life. That's why I'm trying so hard to make this a great show.
There we
Because
go.
I mean, go
Back to
ahead.
your question. So I think fundamentally, it's not necessarily what we're putting out there into the world. I think with our music, Colton is writing and producing the majority of the music, the vast majority of the music. I take care of the lyrics and
Yeah.
the vocal aspects, throw in some other elements. We're both telling stories with what we're doing. And I feel like primarily that is what we do, is we put forward stories. And there might be little truths from our personalities and our lives in there,
Yeah.
but we don't,
Huh.
we've just never been very interested in pushing our ideals onto people. There are times that we will do something like that when we've got something that's agreed upon. It's just, we'd rather leave it up to
There's
the
a time and place
listener.
for everything, is what you're getting at.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like
We don't-
like that song says, "A time to kill, time to this and that." There's a time also to be quiet and do your music. Because that's what people pay you for.
Right. Well, it's not
Unless
even
you're
about,
unless you're in an area where it's a political event or something that they're asking you to play, that's totally different, or whatever. I can totally understand that. It's everybody's right, you know. But,
we're
and I
not
love,
shying away from that, though. I mean,
yeah,
if we
yeah,
have
yeah.
something we need to say, we will say it.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Oh, definitely, definitely. I understand
Everyone
that.
else can be damned. If we have a message to put out, we're going to do that. We're not worried about playing to one side or the other or to the middle. If we need to
Yeah,
say something, we will say it.
exactly. Yeah,
I think
you
just
should never hold back.
ultimately, we
Go
just
ahead.
like making music. I think so. Really, ultimately, like whatever the lyrics end up being or the story being told, like really, we're just like the process of just making stuff.
That's our
So,
biggest thing.
Exactly, yeah.
that's the most
But I like that
important part.
idea of story. Each song is a story,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna be cool, man. It's gonna be like that series where the Psycho series, Bates Motel. What's gonna happen in this episode? It's like, yeah, that's good because it has that eeriness. You have that music it's almost like you're creating the soundtrack while he's creating the story. The lyrics, which are the story to it. And you guys are kind of working together and creating your own, I don't know, story. I like it.
Very much so. Very much so.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like a song like you said, like Bats, or like a song like Debutante that we did with Paige from Helmet. They're just like completely different stories. Like,
Yeah,
just a completely different story. There's nothing political about any of them. They're
yeah,
they're just the stories we're trying to tell, and then you move on to the next one.
Yep.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're storytellers.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. That's good to know. Good to know. It's because I was checking out your stuff before it came on. I had a little bit of time while doing my coffee and all that. I it just really was impressed on the I don't know. I love industrial. I think it's nice when people go down the industrial rock category because in the other side of it that it's already been taken care of. I mean, it's like almost everything's been done. It feels like, I mean, it's just. But when people go to the more rock aspect, like how Tool did it, or this and this and that, or like one of the bands I love, Godflesh. How
Oh
I
yeah.
love the guitar, man. How fast he goes, like it's like thrash, and then the drums are just slow and mechanic, and it's just like wow. Yeah. So I do
Yeah.
appreciate this genre that you're involved in. There's not a whole lot of bands that are necessarily that are really huge, like maybe like 16 volts, or a few of the bands that I mean, gosh, I don't know, anyways, that I know throughout the years that my mind's going blank right now. Most of them are from LA. Uh, I think it's a great category. Chem Lab is what I was thinking about. Chem Lab, man. They're industrial rock as well, I
Oh
believe.
yeah.
And so I mean I definitely love that sound. So you try because a lot of the danceability stuff's already been done with Front 242 and everybody else, Slick Idiot and KMFDM, of course, and all that good stuff. So you're taking it away from all that. I mean, you kind of sound like the same, with the noise and all that good stuff, but you try to stay away from the typical of industrial sound. It seems like you're making it your own.
We're
So,
definitely trying to do that.
yeah,
We are experimenting currently. We're trying to kind of vary things up. I don't think we're ever going to leave that sound because that's a sound that we felt was very important when we were coming of age and really cutting our teeth.
yeah.
But we were definitely trying to change it up. And we invite anyone to dance to this music, especially the people in the back that didn't want to dance to the last stuff.
Okay, all right. I'll take the challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see me on the dance floor.
Yeah. Our stuff is probably not that danceable, but there's some tracks in there that have it for sure.
Yeah.
Our tempos are maybe a little slower, but I've seen people dance to it for sure.
Yeah, you can dance like a malfunctioning robot. Beautiful.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome. It was funny,
noise.
real quick, about the skinny puppy. When I saw him in cinematic, I was dancing the whole time right in front of Ogre. Dancing the whole time, man. The whole concert. Didn't even leave that spot. Didn't even barely even look up. I was just dancing. And he came up to me to tear down his mic, and he gets on his knee and he puts his hand out, shake my hand, and he goes, "Dude, you were dancing like the whole show, man." He goes, "Thank you so much. That was really cool." I just like I wanted to say at first, "Who are you?" But I knew he was. I was dancing the whole time. I didn't give a shit. It was perfect, man. You get lost. That's what the whole thing is. You can get lost in great music. You know what I mean? When it's put together well. Thing that I think is hard with industrial though is you can really rely on pre-recorded type of sounds and loops. You know what I mean? Which kind of make it, I think, a little bit harder. Yeah, I mean, to like when I was doing, I'm a solo artist, so I know about doing a lot of loops and track over track, and this and that, and then having a set that I play with, like drums, bass line, some keyboard, synth, a little bit, that do guitar and vocals live, and so I can understand the frustration behind doing some shows where you have to keep having a lot of the loops. Is it better for you guys to have more people to do those things more on a live basis instead of having to have it pre-recorded? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, we've done both. We use pre-recorded stuff when playing
Yeah,
live.
of course.
And
You can't get away from it. You have to.
to a degree, I think to a degree, early on after we started recording, we formed a live band. And so we did have a lot of live instrumentation, but the most recent shows that we had played, which were quite a few years back, it was literally just Colten, myself, and Austin Williams, Colten's brother, just the three of us on stage. And we did rely heavy on backing tracks, looping, triggers, and whatnot. We like them both. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. There's a certain
no
freedom behind having it.
There's no right or wrong way to do it.
Yeah, no, there
that served its purpose for us, so that was great.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a time where it works very well. What was that, sir?
Oh, I was saying I feel like when the days of when we first started playing shows with a drummer, that was like more noise rock, punk a little bit, and we had Tim was playing samples and stuff too, but we didn't really bring in like our synth loops and all that. But then, which was cool, but then when we decided to go without a drummer, we were able to lean more on the synth loops and just make a wall of sound.
Okay.
So
see, that's what I was wondering about. It was about especially with the live drums, because you said you were bringing, he brings that more punk aspect and this and that, and and then you do the other aspect and this and that. And so I was kind of thinking in my head that in order to have a more stronger punk influence with the industrial, it would probably be nice to have a live drummer to probably add to what you already do as far as loops.
Yeah.
Like who was that does that? Like New Order. New Order is a great example.
Yeah.
He does a lot of things, like especially when it was with Joy Division. He was doing the same thing, but he writes a lot of the rhythms and beats for the songs the drummer does. And you can see him over there with the keyboard, well, not a keyboard, but I mean, he does. He stands up and gets on the keyboard too, as well. But and then doing live drums on top of it, and then he has a pre-programmed drum machine and stuff over there as well. It's like he's all over the place. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Are you will you eventually work towards that probably again, having a full live band?
We will have to see. I think right now,
Put you on a spot. I'm
I agree
sorry.
with what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying, that live drummer element and just live musicians on the stage brings more livelihood. It brings more energy. As
Exactly.
far as the punk rock aspect, I think that we bring that with our attitudes and how we carry ourselves. And in
Cool.
regards to the drum sounds, the way that he has programmed these drums, when they're pumping through a PA, the intensity of them and the layers of them,
Yeah.
I don't really feel like they need an actual live drummer. Plus, that's one less person on stage, one less person to try to get out on the road. It's one less hassle.
Yeah.
You catch my drift. Not that drummers
Oh
are a
yeah.
hassle.
A
They
lot
are.
of mics that are needed for drum sets and all kinds of stuff. You almost need a whole nother mixer for just
Yeah.
a drum kit. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I actually did when I was my early days. I had like two different mixers, one for certain band members and the regular mics, and then I had one for the drummer himself. He had his own PV amp and all that stuff. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It worked out.
Yeah.
Anyways, so now I noticed your music is on iTunes and you're on Bandcamp, right? As well. So where
Yeah.
else can we find your music at? And do you have merchandise that people could purchase and all that good
Yeah.
stuff? Tell us.
Yeah. I think it's pretty much up anywhere, any streaming place you want to use. It's pretty much anywhere. But if you want, like, I recommend if you're interested in like actually downloading it and buying the MP3s or the WAV files, obviously Bandcamp's the way to go, and they're just a good company. Like the bands get to keep the majority of it.
Yeah.
And also it's a great place to buy merch. Like that's the only place you could buy our merch for sure. Like is through our record labels, Bandcamp, Remission Entertainment. You could buy
Remission. Okay.
yeah, Remission Entertainment. You could buy shirts there. You could buy the CD there. I think that's pretty much it. Or obviously the digital download, but I think shirts and CDs is all. Our first album, Brides, you could buy a CD too, but that'd be through our own personal Bandcamp. But if you just look
okay.
us up on there, it's really easy to find. So we did press our first album.
You said that record label your guys' record label?
No, we're just signed. We're just an artist signed.
Okay. A lot of do-it-yourself bands, so that's why I was asking. I never heard of that record label before.
We've always been DIY. We've got a few releases out on a couple of different labels, Component Recordings, Remission Entertainment, and that Bandcamp link is remissionentertainment.bandcamp.com.
Okay.
For everyone who's watching and listening.
That's
right. They have a lot of other great artists too. They really love industrial and rock, and there's all kinds of stuff on that label, and we kind of fit in there somehow. And, we're
somehow.
But
experimental. It's that word experimental that gets you in there.
Yeah, I think we're just noisy enough and kind of that we fit in. I mean, and they like us, and they put out our last album, they pressed it, and are doing
Okay,
some merch and stuff. So
okay. I
um,
gotta ask while you're kind of on this already. You said you're noisy enough and all that. What attracts you to the noise? I mean, to me, it was more a lot of the dance ability type stuff and this and that. You know, what is it with you when it comes to noise? Seems
I
like
would say I love I really like using up all of the frequency range, for better or for
okay,
worse. And sometimes industrial can push it too far, and we just sometimes have a tendency to do make too much going on, but that's
yeah,
just kind of why I also love
makes it
about
too
it. But
busy. Yeah,
or
sometimes
even
that
just
can happen.
yeah, we just have a tendency to just like using up the whole range and layering stuff. And I just love using synthesizers and samples and weird sounds. And
Yeah,
it's an experimental genre too that I like about it. Like our songs are not really that complex, really, when you break them down, but there's just a lot going on. We're just making
yeah,
lots of crazy sounds, and maybe that's why industrial or industrial adjacent will kind of always stay in the underground. It'll never really be a big mainstream type of music,
that's right.
because it is weird. It's not for everybody. But I think that's what we like about it, is like every idea we have, either one of us, like it makes its way in there for the most part.
Exactly.
And
That's
that's what
good.
that genre kind of is known for and accepts.
There's something very disconcerting about harsher elements of noise as well.
Okay.
We're both big score and soundtrack fans. We're big fans of horror movies,
Yeah.
so we like to bring a little of that kind of feeling of being distraught and nervous and unsure. For
Ah,
some reason, that just rings with us and it feels right.
yes, that makes sense. There goes back to the storyline. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Especially, I mean, it's so funny. Your face lit up when you were telling me about love and noise. It is so funny. I like experiment, with all the ranges and
Yeah,
this stuff. I mean, it makes a lot of sense actually.
yeah, it's
It's
good. All those sounds. It's
I mean,
exciting.
it seems like it just goes on forever, but I can see how sometimes it can be overwhelming, or a little much. Like the album Fixed, Nine Inch Nails Fixed. It was a good album, but I thought that was a little bit even too noisy for me because it was. I like there's being still some kind of order to the chaos, and it
Yeah.
wasn't. It was pretty much all over the place when it came to that album. And I'm
Yeah.
saying it's still not bad. It's good still. I mean, it is. I mean, but you know what I'm getting at. Broken was just exceptional album. I mean, and then to have that come out after it, it was just like you took it a little too far, I thought. So
Oh,
basically,
yeah.
I'm trying to go with what you're saying. Sometimes you can go a little too far with the noise. I
For
do
this,
see for a storyline though, I could definitely see how it's crucial to have all that wide range because I mean emotions go all over the place. So noises should be able to I'll be all over. Go ahead. Sorry about it. I
we
interrupted
do
you.
we do like to have dynamics and a lot of emotion. I mean, we're human beings. We don't just feel the aggression all the time or the sorrow or the love or whatever else.
Yeah.
So we work that all in. Back to what you were saying about noise, I think it's just dependent on one's palate. As for our last release on
Okay.
Remission, we just released the debutante maxi single, which had remixes from Ex Hyena, Fact Pattern, Frontal
Yeah.
Boundary, Divider, and Lament Cityscape. The Lament Cityscape remix of our song Debutante was so heavy and bludgeoning and noisy. We absolutely loved it. Myself, I contacted Colton and I said, why didn't we write our song this way?
Yeah,
So it's just personal preference, I think, and not
exactly.
everyone's gonna like it. That's
You know,
just
I
there's so
love
many different genres.
yeah, I love it when people come out with singles like that. Speaking of like KMFDM had that song Light, which is still, I think, one of the greatest club tracks of all time ever. KMFDM doing it again. Anyways, they came up with that maxi single of like 12 or something tracks. And it was just the same song, but by a bunch of different artists. That Warsaw and a bunch of different people, which I thought you probably guys would probably like them. They're all over the place when it comes to beats and drums. And
Yep.
yeah, they're psychotic. And so that was pretty cool. Ina, by the way, was on my show.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're really cool. I
Yeah,
really
they're cool.
enjoy them.
Yeah, they're good
Yeah.
people.
Did a cool remix for sure too. Like we're a fan of that era too. Like that's why we just love that era of where all those bands were remixing each other and
Yeah.
and they would put records out with different remixes like that kind of died out, I feel like, at some point, and we just have always, for us, it never died out. We were always wanting to continue that thing. Like, we just think it's interesting. It's cool to hear another band's take on your song or vice versa. Like we've done a lot of remixes for other artists as well, and we love doing that. Like I love getting all the stems and
It's like you came competition more so for people than it is, than just
and then nod to each
doing
other.
what you do, and write a good album, right from your heart. That's the best albums, right
We're
from
not
your
in
soul.
competition with anyone. We're in competition with ourselves to
Exactly.
create a closer vision of what we want to create every time.
It's hard to
There's
get
no
out
competition.
what's in here into noise and through your instrument. It's not an easy task.
Yeah.
I mean, to come to that point where like you guys will probably look at each other and give each other bro hugs, say we did it finally. Until you get to that point, like me one time it was I was working on a song like all day, dude, like all damn day. Finally I hit it. And I started having tears come down my face. And I went to write to my wife, I'm like, honey, please come check this out. I did it. And I did. I still nail that song. I love it. Anyways, my point is, when you hit it. It's important. It's important to let out all that shit that it builds up. A sponge can only soak up so much until it needs to be wrung out.
That's true.
Yeah, and music's the best way, in my opinion, to get it all out. Just do it through
And it
music.
doesn't have to be all anger, like you said.
Oh yeah, no.
Emotional
Yeah.
Some bands go with suicide. Like Suicide Commando. I love them. But it's like all they talk about is that or death or whatever. It's like, I love you guys, but, there's other stuff in life to talk about. I mean, like you were talking about earlier, and just saying that, there's more than just a subject we're trying to talk about. There's more to life than that. There's a lot of things that are people hurt from, and there's a lot of things that we struggle with as humans, that are great fuel for another song or story.
There's a lot of highlights as well that people don't seem to try to celebrate. It's not just the hurt.
Yeah.
The sadness.
Life is definitely something to have victory for.
Yeah.
Every day waking up breathing, dude, and
we're all still here somehow.
Joy for life. Yeah, definitely. We got to find things in life that make us happy. We get so lost in the things that, like me, was smoking a lot of pot, blind myself from a lot of issues, life's issues. Smoke a lot of pot, get away from it. That was one of my downfalls. So
everybody's got something they need as a crutch, whether that's drug use, drinking, therapy, religion, music.
Yeah,
we've all got something that we need to reach out to, pull back in, recenter ourselves, and try to get started.
That's right. So now on to another subject. Speaking about reaching out, do you have some shows you got lined up, or touring or anything like that coming up?
No shows at the moment. We haven't been playing lately, and not that it's not that we won't, but we've just been busy with life and jobs and
Are you more a studio band than right at the moment?
at the moment, yeah. At the moment, we're more of a studio band. We just have so many ideas and so much more stuff we want to write that, we've easily got another album's worth of demos in the works right now too. That we really want to get out and finish, and
That's
just been
awesome.
really enjoying just writing, and that's my favorite part personally is just the writing and making it. And shows are fun, but there's it's a whole other animal.
I don't think our egos are involved in the show element as much anymore. Like, we don't put
Okay.
our pictures out there very often. We don't put our photographs into our albums. It's not about us. And when we're on stage, you could probably be the most normalized person in the world. When you've got people staring at you and they're there to see you, the ego kicks in a little bit.
Oh, it has to.
It doesn't
Part of
feel
that.
like we're there anymore. We're just more interested in creating.
Exactly. Like
Yeah,
Marilyn Manson, man, he was one of the nicest people I ever sat down and had a beer with. And then, but yet when you're on stage, he's the total opposite. He's a showman. So,
He was
anyways,
great for
our time is up, gentlemen. Sorry to say, but
No worries.
Thank you so much.
do appreciate your time, and it means a lot to me. And I'm hoping for the best for you guys. And you guys get a new album out, hit me up, get you back on the show. You guys can promote it. And so
Yeah,
you always have a home here on the Rooster Show, man.
Well,
Take care
thanks,
of
man.
yourselves.
Thank
No.
you.
Thank you, Rooster. Thanks to Rooster Show.
Man. You guys be well and talk to you soon.
You as well, man.
See you.
Take
Thank
care, and
you.
thanks for having me.
Always. Cheers.